On May 3rd, 2026, in Lambertville, New Jersey, two authors came together for an afternoon of storytelling, craft, and memoir. Mark McNease shared excerpts from Blank Page to Bookshelf, from First Sentence to First Sale, his guide to fiction writing, character creation, and self-publishing, and Kim Cook shared from her powerful memoir, I Am My Father's Child, a true story of history, mystery, betrayal, and forgiveness. Keep watching for a video excerpt from that event.
Basically, I wanted to go back. I believe that there are generational curses, or just like we pick up our DNA from our family and things. I wanted to see where this started in our family. So I actually go back to my grandparents coming over. And I just wanted to see, like, why are there family traits that are kind of bizarre? One of them is my own mother was sold to the circus. She was also physically attacked young. So we went into that to see, women that are hurt, what they do with that hurt, and either you become one way or another. So, and then picking up on the fun history. Like, I was really blessed that I have driven across country 23 times by car, and those had amazing stories behind it. I am one of the only people I know. Again, I always thought everybody did this. My father would take out road maps, and he was a land investor along with the other things. So we would drive across country, and he would go and meet with the mayor or the local people and say, who's building here? What's going on? And my father was incredible because he would see road signs, little things. And one of them at one time was Crazy Horse. Now, if anybody knows about Mount Rushmore, there's also Crazy Horse. The natives have been donating the money. It's not government funded. And I actually got to meet the gentleman who was building Crazy Horse. My mother was Polish. She could speak Polish, so she hit it off with him. I have letters. I've showed Mark things that my family has had. As a kid, I have a scar here. Rock Hudson's monkey bit me. There's crazy stories in my life, but I thought, because one of the properties that my parents owned out in Hollywood area, Rock Hudson kept a cottage. Back then, people tried to keep things quieter, and his housekeeper, and they had a trained monkey, and I was sent out to visit the monkey, and the darn thing bit me. I didn't know better. I thought all of this was a normal childhood, but the mystery part came out only 10 years ago. And the 10 years ago, when my saint of a mother, who just passed in November at 97 and a half, wrote me a note and changed my whole entire world. So I can't tell you the ending, because that's the book. But my mother was raised a certain way, and I guess she thought that if she would go to heaven or hell with guilt, she needed to tell me. So at that time, I found out who my real father is. So that's the book. So if you're interested, I'm not planning on making a livelihood off this unless I get really good at it. But I'm enjoying the journey, and it was really fun, and with Mark's help, it was great.
I'm going to read a little bit.
Okay.
First of all, I'm going to read the back. In every life, there are moments that shimmer just beneath the surface of memory. Encounters, decisions, and turning points that, at the time, felt ordinary but would come to shape the very fabric of who we are. This book is a journey into such moments. The recollections of a daughter navigating the joys and sorrows of family. The unpredictability of change and the search for belonging across places and decades. Woven through these pages are the voices of those I have loved and learned from, especially my father, whose gentle wisdom guided me through the tumult and beauty of growing up. As I open these doors to my past, I invite you to step inside to witness the laughter and grief, the certainty and doubt, and perhaps find echoes of your own story along the way. From the author, so many people have encouraged me to write this story of true love, deceit, hurt, and forgiveness. I have been blessed to come out on the other side of all these things with a life that is completely full of adventures, warm family, and amazing friends. It took me a lifetime to live this story, and now it's your turn to read it. Now, what did I read the last time? Just the first chapter?
Yeah. Or, I don't know.
I'll read part of the first chapter. And by the way, there are pictures. Every chapter has a picture. starts with a picture. Yeah, this was, and then we'll talk about how we did this, because you don't think of the process when you're in it. I don't think, but afterwards it's like, wow, this was pretty interesting. Yeah, like all these pictures and all this formatting, and the copy and pasting, and the 800-word texts that were just a stream of words. And I will own the fact that I was not focused on editing.
Right.
I was focused on writing the chapters, and then, like I said, Kim's like, oh, this is good.
But we learned, and we had a great time, and I never once, I've always complimented both of us.
Oh, yeah, because I think the writing's quite good.
So
if I say so myself.
Yeah, but we're getting nice reviews.
Well, and you have gotten, because I'm reading the stuff you're writing now, you've gotten really good. You have, I think you have grown tremendously as
Thank you.
as a writer.
Well, I appreciate you're going to work
And
on
I
the
told you
second
you could
book.
write too. You remember that?
I know.
That goes back.
I know.
An Orchid Corsage, Chapter 1, 1973. And it has a picture a lot from Life magazine. Is that the Shangri-La?
That's the Shangri-La.
That's the ship that her father was on in the Pacific Fleet. The night my father called himself my date, I wore a green dress that matched my eyes and a white orchid corsage that smelled faintly of salt and sweetness. I didn't know it then, but he was teaching me what love should look like. It was 1973, and I was a young, naive girl of 16. The Queen Mary still felt new in her harbor home in Long Beach, California. The old ocean liner rested proudly at the dock, grand and graceful, her decks echoing with stories of another time. That night, one of those stories became my own. My father, George Lopak, had promised me a special evening, though he kept the details quiet. He picked me up from school that afternoon, his hair neat, his shirt crisp, and a spark of mischief in his voice. "We have a few errands to run," he said, and I could tell by his tone that it was no ordinary day. We stopped at a dress shop, the kind which with chandeliers and saleswomen who still called customers dear. He sat on a velvet settee while I tried on 2 dresses, waiting patiently as I stepped out from the fitting room each time. When I appeared in the green one, he smiled in that quiet, certain way of his. "That one," he said, "it matches your beautiful green eyes." And that was that. The green dress became mine. Later that evening at home, when I came out of my room, ready for dinner, he was waiting with a clear box in his hands. Inside was a white orchid corsage, the kind worn at proms and formal dances. He took it out carefully and fastened it around my wrist. "Tonight I'm not your dad," he said, his voice gentle but sure. "I'm your date." He was teaching me something that night without ever saying it directly. He was showing me how a girl should expect to be treated with respect and care. Look what respect and care looked like when it meant to be valued. I didn't have the words for it then, but I understood the feeling. And then there's quite a bit here about the Queen Mary and the evening they had together. I don't recall dancing that night, but if they had a dance floor, I'm sure we did. He'd taken us to the Rainbow Room once on a visit to New York City, and I danced with him there. The Rainbow Room remains an iconic and historic venue renowned for its stunning panoramic views of Manhattan. Originally opened in 1934, it has served as a symbol of elegance and sophistication, hosting high-profile events and celebrations over the decades. My father never worried about the cost, and when we danced, it was always with my shoes on top of his as he led us in a turn around the room. I think of that image sometimes, dancing with my father. In my mind's eye, it can be anywhere, New York, Plainfield, Long Beach. He is still attempting to teach me as well as protect me from a world full of sharp edges, hard lessons, and a betrayal or two. My father was an entrepreneur at heart. After his stint in the Navy, he realized he needed a reliable pension, which led him to join the Plainfield police force. At the same time, his desire for business opportunities never left him. He had business to attend to on a trip to California, a Carvel ice cream franchise to secure, some real estate in the desert where he owned a 350-unit trailer complex. He had other dealings I wasn't aware of at the time, especially given my age. My mother and father and I, along with his business partner, Gene, would sometimes go to meetings together where I would wait outside while they made their deals. 2 days later, my father flew back to Plainfield. He had taken me on a first date and done what he could to prepare me for at least some of the things to come. But there were other darker things neither of us could have anticipated. I considered that a blessing. It gave me memories of a place and time before the storm clouds gathered and the lightning struck. Girls deserve to dance in the shoes of their fathers. I was one of the lucky ones. And there are darker times in the book. That's why we're not going to reveal them.
No, there's that mystery part.
And there's funny stuff too.
Oh, there's some very funny stuff.
Yeah, and for me it was interesting. Well, I mean, it was also that your mom, just when we finished the book, your mom passed away.
Right.
Your mother Kim's mother was alive until a few months ago, right?
November. She got to hear, especially the last 2 chapters, which was really important.
That wasn't part of the book, the initial book, and you added a chapter about your mother.
Yeah, it needed to be. But I thank you. You've got me on this journey, and that's quite a compliment coming from your talent. And I'm excited, especially now with a new chapter in my life going on. So,
Yes, yeah, it's like
a new book coming that Mark will be helping with, and
that's
behind the chair.
Yeah.
My viewpoint from taking care of a handicapped husband who now is critically ill. And we're having, you read a couple of those already.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It was
So- We've started a new journey.
Yeah, I was going to say we're talking shop here.
Yeah.
But the chapter you gave me was really, really good.
Thank you. But I totally encourage all of you, you've taken Mark's classes, keep going. It was a great year. That's all I can say. And I thank you.
And I really looked forward to the two. We would meet at the library. Now that we're in this phase of this discussion, we would meet. Well, we started out meeting in Frenchtown at the Bridge Cafe because I love their egg sandwiches. But it's not a good place to meet with privacy and work. So we started meeting at the Clinton Library. I love that library. I just did I did a writer's group there on Wednesday nights for a year, and I just turned it over to somebody else. I still go to the library, and like I said, I'm going to be doing workshops at the bookstore in Clinton because I love that library. But I didn't like getting home at 8:30, 8:15. So I found somebody to take it over. She's going to do a great job. It'll always have a place in my heart. And we'll still meet there.
I know. And we're having fun. And what I keep saying is that I'm still amazed. I've heard people say it's taken them 2-3 years to write something, and it came together pretty nicely. So.
Well, it is because I know too, initially you weren't sure how to define it, but it is a memoir. It is a memoir because it's about a specific chunk of your life, a specific theme and topic in your life, rather than it's not a biography. It's not an autobiography. And memoirs you can address that. Tim here is part of what in the writers group in New York. He's a really good writer. I mean, I'm going to just put you on the spot there. You're just a beautiful writer. And you know the distinctions between a memoir and an autobiography.
On one final note, it's interesting. I've always said that one drop of water changes a ripple, right? And we've done this, a few people, in my past, one in particular, 50 years ago in high school, he was a jerk to me, and he admitted it, and I hadn't seen him till a high school reunion. And it was so interesting because he got my book. I sent you the picture, he read it in one day. He calls me up and says, page 71's my favorite page, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't really know him well, and I had to go grab a book, 71. Oh! It's fun to see how connections are coming back. I can't tell you too much because it would give a lot away, but he apologized for being kind of a jerk to me in high school, and I didn't even realize I was the Puritan girl, while everybody else was doing things. Even though I hung out with a lot of theater people, I didn't do what they were doing, and art people I didn't do. And this person this book resonated with. And it was like, they don't even live in the state anymore. And now we've been in touch and they've been sharing their life. So it's not just my memoirs, because it opens a door to other people's hurts and values also, which is what I'm thrilled, because I just want people to say, it's not just my story, this could happen to anyone on certain levels. So, forgiveness is a really hard thing. And when you read it, if you do read it, you'll see it was pretty hard for me to forgive my mother. But it was a journey I had to do.